The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
A fatal mystery aboard a Carnival cruise ship is unfolding down in Florida. Anna Kepner, an 18-year-old high school senior from Titusville, Florida, was found dead aboard the Carnival Horizon on November 8th of 2025. Family and classmates remember her as a straight-A student, cheerleader, and gymnast who had recently completed military entrance testing and planned to enlist after graduation. Carnival Cruise Line confirmed the ship returned to Port Miami following the incident, and the FBI's Miami area office has opened an investigation. Authorities have not released a cause of death, and tonight we take a look at this FBI investigation. Meanwhile, in Sarasota, Florida, a dramatic day in the courtroom as an accused double murderer takes the stand. Dima Tower grew up in an orphanage in Ukraine. It was not a great place for a teenage boy. Life was difficult. Then, a miracle. A loving couple from America found him, adopted him, and brought him back to sunny Florida. Robynn and Jennifer Tower, a kind-hearted couple from the U.S., tried to help this broken teenager heal. For 7 years, they loved him like their own, helping him learn English, helping him make friends, and try to get better. But things never did completely heal, and now the boy they rescued is 24 years old and stands accused of brutally murdering the parents who tried to save him. And today, Dima Tower took the stand in his own defense, and we have all the big moments. But first, from California to the plains of Nebraska, the disappearance of 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard has become a race against time. What began as a quiet road trip from Santa Barbara County turned into a mystery that has gripped the nation. Investigators say Ashlee rented a car and drove halfway across the country to Nebraska, but somewhere along the way, Melodee disappeared. Days later, Ashlee was found alone, and now she's refusing to cooperate. The silence has only deepened suspicion. Then Ashlee was arrested on an unrelated charge, accused of falsely imprisoning an acquaintance who came over to her house after Melodee vanished. And now Ashlee is once again free, released by the judge and back home alone without her daughter Melodee, who is still missing tonight. I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. Melodee Buzzard still missing tonight, but yesterday her mom appeared wigless in court. And I talk about this not to be catty, not to poke fun, but it's a real issue in this case because this is the way she actually looks. Yet, when she's out in public, her appearance changes. As a matter of fact, when she took that trip, her and her daughter were both disguised in wigs. Purposeful conduct by Ashlee Buzzard, especially with her daughter. 9 years old, you're throwing a wig on a 9-year-old? And the gray hoodie pulled over her head? Why? Why are you doing that? To me, it's obvious. She doesn't want people to recognize her or her daughter or be able to identify them when someone's asking around. So the disguise was in the beginning of the trip. We know that she left from California, went to Nebraska, stopped in Kansas, headed back through Colorado and Utah, northern Arizona, and back home. But once she got back home, her daughter wasn't there. The fact that the disguises began in the beginning of the trip tell me that there was some sort of a master plan here to avoid detection. There's another reason I know this whole thing was planned, because she changed plates or tags on her car, on her rental car. She rented a car in California with California plates, but conveniently had with her a New York tag that she threw on there. at some point during this trip. Why do you do that? The same reason you throw a wig on a 9-year-old. To avoid detection, to deceive, to get away with something that you planned. It's not hard to put together the mindset here, even if she does suffer from some form of mental health issues. She knows enough to plan and plot and deceive. Now, we saw her in court, and then she was released by the judge on that unrelated case and was re-wigged at home. I know she likes to wear wigs. We've heard that from the family. She's got a ton of wigs. I get it, personal choice, who cares? I mean, it's not a big deal unless your 9-year-old child is missing and you threw a wig on her. Then all of a sudden, the wig issue looms much larger. So here we are, another night. Melodee is still missing. Ashlee is home, has an ankle monitor, but she's home. And everyone's wondering, when are we going to get an answer from her? She could end this mystery so easily, so quickly, just by speaking up, but she's not. So everyone is out there trying to track down this 9-year-old girl, including Crystal Bermudez from Scripps News Group, who has the latest tonight from California for us.
I'm Crystal Bermudez, your community reporter in Santa Maria at the county courthouse, where the mother at the center of a missing child investigation appeared before a judge on Wednesday. I was there in the courtroom during that hearing when Ashlee Buzzard denied the felony charge against her, and the judge ordered for her to be released from custody.
Reading and advisement of the complaint. We're entering a not guilty plea with no time waiver. We're requesting an assignment as quickly as possible.
Public defender Adrian Galvan appeared in court beside Ashlee Buzzard, describing the allegation in the felony case against her as non-serious and non-violent.
She refutes the allegations that have been brought against her, and we are looking forward to the opportunity to test the credibility and the veracity of the charges brought.
Wearing a gray cardigan, Buzzard kept her hands crossed throughout the hearing and with short hair looked different from her usual appearance. Lily Dennis, Melodee's paternal grandmother, was inside the courtroom during the hearing and says the experience left her shaken and frustrated.
I would have never recognized her. I can't believe it's her. She looks so different.
Along with being surprised by the drastic change in appearance, Lily tells me she was not happy with the judge's ruling.
What about my case? Where's my granddaughter? Well, we don't know nothing yet. That's what they tell me.
Prosecutors pushed back against Buzzard's release, pointing to her recent behavior amid the search for her daughter.
Ms. Buzzard has been notably uncooperative with law enforcement and child welfare services. Pertaining to the disappearance of her daughter, Melodee.
Still, the judge ordered Buzzard not to have any contact with the alleged victim in the false imprisonment case and said she cannot possess any weapons.
You will be getting released on GPS.
Following the hearing, I reached out to the man named in the criminal complaint. He declined to comment. I met with Lori Miranda, Ashlee's mother, Wednesday afternoon.
That's your daughter?
Yeah, I can tell.
That looks like my daughter.
But seeing Ashlee in court left her feeling uneasy.
Poor thing. She just looks so forsaken. So sad. She had so much going for her. I can't believe it.
And she had this message for Ashlee.
I just wanted her to tell where the baby is, because I know she didn't hurt my granddaughter.
I reached out to Santa Barbara County Sheriff's spokesperson Raquel Zick to see if there are any further updates in the ongoing investigation involving Melodee Buzzard. At this time, Zick says there are no new developments. Buzzard's next court appearance is set for November 19th. In Santa Maria, Crystal Bermudez, KSBY News.
I have some more video I want to show you. This is from News Nation. This is Ashlee Buzzard leaving the jail after being released yesterday. Take a listen.
Ashlee, can you tell us where Melodee is? Ashlee, is Melodee okay? Do you have any comment?
Where's Melodee?
Is she in Utah? Ashlee, do you have any comment? Can you tell us where Melodee is?
Silence is absolutely deafening. Absolutely deafening. Again, it would take like 2 sentences to clear this up and to answer the only question people are concerned about: where is Melodee? Okay, so that's her leaving the jail. Take a look at her when she arrived back at her home.
Any comment, Ashlee? Where's Melodee? Where's Melodee, Ashlee?
You know Daniela Grant? Slams the door again. We've seen this. It's every time. It's every time. What's going on? Like, she's in court on the false imprisonment. I know that's going to be a he said, she said, if she ever talks, right? About what happened there, whether or not she did try to lock the guy in, whether she did grab a box cutter or not. But, like, it's almost like people are looking at that, you know, in the courtroom and forgetting that, oh, yeah, there's a 9-year-old girl who no one has seen that didn't check in with the school program that she was supposed to check in with, which is what started this entire investigation. And she's just gone. And nothing really is happening with that. I know they're looking for her, but Mom is just kind of business as usual. Why? Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney and lawyer Lori on TikTok. It's Lori Murray. Also, attorney Ali Benevento and former sex crimes prosecutor for more than 3 decades, Stacey Honowitz, joining us. All right, Lori, why? Why are we here night in and night out? Whether she's under arrest or let go, with a wig, without a wig, she's completely silent, saying nothing, and it has no impact on her. It's as if Melodee doesn't matter.
And that's truly sad, too. I mean, Melodee is an adorable little girl, and it just reminds me there were 2 mothers that I can think of that were silent under these same circumstances, and that is Casey Anthony and Lori Daybell, and we both know what happened with those kids. The wig is especially peculiar, but, you know, I saw her in court. Honestly, if my hair looked like that, I might wear a wig, too. But, you know, the whole thing just smacks of disguising, and I think that we're going to end up with some kind of tragic result to this.
I understand a tragic result, Ali, but, like, how about the system of justice doing something about it? You know, there were charges against Lori Daybell before they found the bodies. She was locked up before they actually found her kids buried in her 5th husband's backyard. But here, it just, like, the false imprisonment is what it is. Like, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But it's really about Melodee.
Yeah, absolutely. But we don't know what they don't know. And I would assume that if charges have not been brought at this point in time, they don't have enough to charge her with anything. There are probably more questions than there are answers at this point. And also, you know, just to play devil's advocate for a second, this is some bizarre behavior, okay? The wigs, you know, to Lori's point, I don't know, I think the wig is worse than the hair, but she's wearing a wig, she's putting a wig on her daughter, they're disguising themselves, they're changing license plates. Are they in danger? Are they both running from something? Is something else more sinister going on here? We just don't know. But I have to imagine that, especially since she was caught up in another case, if they thought that they had enough to charge her, they would have done that already. So I think we have more questions than we do answers. No doubt about it, there's something bizarre going on, but I don't know that we need to jump to conclusions at this point because there's just so much that we don't know.
Am I jaded, Stacey?
Well, I don't think you're jaded. I think you feel the way the whole world who's watching this case feels. Like the first sign of an uncooperative mother who doesn't want to participate in the investigation to find her daughter sends up a lot of red flags. Now, to Allie's point, when we talk about, she said, listen, let me play devil's advocate. What if they're in danger? Well, we've seen these cases where there's interference with custody, and that's because the mother thought the child was in danger. But here she's not talking at all. She's not going to the authorities. She's not saying I had to get my child away from somebody. So what I would really focus on is, why isn't the family placing pressure? Why aren't they asking questions? Where is she? Why aren't they trying to figure out what took place? Who was in this child's life besides the grandparents? Who was in this mother's life? Was there a man? Was there a father, a husband? And now the FBI is really entrenched in having to go through 5 states now, as opposed to trying to figure out if she was just right there. Now they've got to go on this digital footprint to try to find video and closed circuit TV and ask questions. So it's a mess. It really is a big mess right now.
Well, the grandmother's asking the questions, right? The grandmother's asking where she is. Sorry, Lori.
The grandmother is.
Yeah, but I'm not even just talking about the grandmother. But there has to be more family that knows her and knows this child, or a neighbor, somebody who was attached to this child. I don't think it was just her and the grandmother. And so I think they all feel the same way. And to Vinnie, to your point, why didn't they just keep her in? And maybe if she would have stayed in custody, she might have talked, she might have said something. But to the prosecutor, to Allie's point, there wasn't enough to present at that point to say we need to hold her because we have some tips about what's going on. It's basically an open investigation at this point.
Lori, I'll give you the last word.
Thank you. This mom's done a really good job of isolating this kid. This was a homeschool kid, or she was in the distant learning program, and her family has said that they haven't seen her in 2 years. Father died when she was young. This is a case where the mom is isolating her completely. And the only other thing that I can think of, the reason why they would let her out, one, they don't have anything to charge her with in this particular case like they did in Lori Daybell. There were so many other things to charge her with. But in this case, they could also be wanting to sit back and watch her, surveil her, see what she does. Maybe she contacts somebody. Maybe she reaches out and tries to cover her tracks, and they can get a hold of that by watching her.
Hopefully, they're making progress. Yeah. All right. Lori Murray, Ali Benevento, Stacey Honowitz staying with us. When we come back, high drama in the courtroom. Young man accused of murdering his adoptive parents took the witness stand. Unreal. Kind of scary, to be honest with you. You'll see that, plus coming up next hour. Tonight on Vinnie Politan investigates loving father Jared Bridegan gunned down on a quiet road. An ambush so cold-blooded, his toddler sat just feet away in silence. Now his ex-wife and her new husband stand accused of masterminding the murder that shocked the nation. Is she connected to the murder? Tonight, we investigate.
The Court TV podcast will return.
Have you had an opportunity, not what you said, but have you had an opportunity to talk to your lawyer and ask him questions before you reach your decision as to whether or not you will testify?
I have.
Do you need any additional time, Mr. Tower, to talk to your attorney before you tell me what your decision is?
Do not.
Okay. And have you reached a decision?
Yes.
And what is your decision?
I want to testify.
Shocking, right? He's accused of murdering his adoptive parents. A lot of evidence in this case. It went in very quickly. I mean, it was there, the forensics, everything, the admissions, anything you would want as a prosecutor you had in this case to prove that he's responsible. And he did it. Like, his lawyer admitted that he did it. They're just trying to get this jury somewhere lower than the top count of murder here. So he decides to take the stand. Let's take a look at his direct examination.
Were you just living only with your mom when she passed?
Yes.
Okay.
I was.
And then who did you go to live with after that?
I went to live with my brother.
Okay. How long did that last for?
Maybe a couple months, so.
Okay. And then where did you go?
I went to my uncle's house.
Okay. How long did that last for?
A couple months.
And you eventually end up in the foster care system in Ukraine, correct?
Objection, leading.
Yeah, I was in two orphanage, or for foster care, orphanage, whatever they call that. The first one I was in before the war, and then
Objection,
I was.
responsive.
Overruled. I think he's trying to give a time frame of when he was in the orphanage. You can answer the question.
I was in the first orphanage in that same region I was born in, the same side of Ukraine. And then when the war started, we were moved to another part of Ukraine, which is somewhere close to the sea.
And was it around that time that you met the Towers, that they came over to meet you?
Yes, I met him at I believe it was end of summer of 2013. I met him. Well, I actually met him over here after I was sent to visit for a month in the States. I flew in and met him at the airport.
Was that the first time that you had met them?
That was for the first time, yes.
Okay. And how long after that do you come to this country?
Well, I also came for the second visit. That summer of 2014, I came for the second visit to meet the rest of the family.
And then you come to live permanently when? In 2015?
Well, I was adopted right before the 2015. I was adopted that winter, and I came to live here in 2015. Yes.
Did you know any English before you came to the United States?
No.
How did you learn English?
By conversating here and there, small talk.
All right. And how long did you live with the Towers prior to, either graduating high school or moving out?
Again, this is a complicated question, and
Objection to narrative.
the answer, it can be very long because I moved in, I moved out.
Objection to narrative.
I'm going to sustain the objection as non-responsive.
Okay. You said you dropped out after 10th grade. Did you move out after that?
No, I stayed, but I didn't really move out on my own. It was just too many family issues.
In August of 2023, which is the incident that we're talking about, how long prior to that were you back living with the house? Because I know you had just moved back there, correct?
Well, yeah, I assumed that
Do you need a moment, Mr. Tower?
Ask for the.
Remember the jurors, let's take a break. Please leave your notepads face down, writing info notes on top. Please don't discuss anything related to your jurors. Everybody stand, jurors exiting.
When you were talking with the police, did you understand everything that they were asking you?
I did.
Did you feel like you answered appropriately, given that you were uncomfortable?
No.
Okay. Do you remember talking with them about multiple times having thoughts of killing your parents?
Yeah, I only had those thoughts a couple times.
Okay. Did you ever have a plan in place to make that happen?
No, I did not.
Now I want you to take a look at a piece of the cross-examination.
You made Jennifer and Robbie's life in their home a living hell, didn't you, Mr. Tower?
Again, there was a lot that went on.
Yes.
Yes, but
Yes.
some adults don't know how to be
Yes.
parents. Yes.
Did your father tell you that you were disrupting his marriage to Jennifer Tower, his wife?
Jennifer told me that before the adoption, that in the beginning,
He's
Rob.
not responding.
I'm responding. Rob did not want to adopt at all, and then he wanted to adopt a daughter, and then finally he agreed to adopt a son. So he didn't really want to adopt to begin with.
Mr. Tower, there was no question related to wanting to adopt other children. The question was calling for a yes or no response.
Well, he didn't really want to adopt me is what I'm saying.
When you were sitting out in your car before you went into the house on the night of August 31st, did you decide to kill your parents before you walked in?
Yes.
I don't have anything else. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is anyone feeling any sympathy for this young man? Allie.
Allie is.
Thanks, Lori. Sympathy. Okay. Am I feeling sympathy for him in general in life? Yes, probably a little bit. But am I feeling sympathy for him for murdering his parents? No. And he's not making it very easy for anyone to feel sympathy for him. I do not understand the purpose of him getting on the witness stand and saying the things that he just did. And that last cross question by the prosecutor was perfect. That's a perfect place to end. I do not understand this defense strategy. It was not effective. And no, I'm not feeling sorry for him for killing his parents in this moment. Lori feels sorry for him. She told me on the break.
I don't. I'm sorry. I do not. You know, we were talking about why you would put him on the stand, and I think you almost have to put him on the stand to show that it was rage, because who else is going to testify as to his rage? But this kid clearly was not coachable. I know he did it, but then what else do you have? I mean, they're trying to get it down from the premeditated murder, so that's all you have. And he was not coachable.
He did the opposite. He ran down the elements of premeditated murder and testified to that.
Well, again, not coachable. I mean, I don't know why they're in the table beforehand. I don't think there was. There couldn't have been, clearly. I mean, they probably knew what they had. Look. I mean, honestly, just look at him. He's the poster child for murderer.
Look, I don't think this attorney wanted to put him on. I think this guy is so full of rage, and I think this guy, I don't know if he felt that taking the stand was going to be like a catharsis for him, because he was sobbing, you know, almost trying to show the jury that he was sorry for what he did. But this strategy, you know, the attorney, I'm sure, I don't think wanted him to take the stand. And so in a case like this, like the prosecutor, the last question, you know, just kind of, you know, solidifies it. That's it. You premeditate. You know, this is one of those cases, Vinnie, like you said, a prosecutor's kind of dream, because everything went in quick. The forensic are there. The admissions are there. And there's really nothing else for the defense to say.
You know, when I look at him and I'm trying to figure out, okay, you can't get into his mind, right? Because he's a broken person. He's been broken since he was a child. But he's demonstrating resentment towards the only two people in the world who wanted him wanted him in their house. I mean, his own father put him in an orphanage in Ukraine. His brother, his uncle, they all had him for 2 months and then they got rid of him. And then these two people from Florida bring him to the United States of America, to the warmth, to the love, and try, and it just doesn't work. And now at this point, it looks like he's still trying to blame them, that woe is me, nobody loves me. My adopted father didn't want to adopt me. He did adopt you. He did adopt you. And it was like final, and it was like permanent. He became your father. Your biological father wanted nothing to do with you. And I think he just wanted to get that out on the stand. I don't know if he has any thoughts about ever being free. But I'm wondering, someone who is this broken, and he looks like the rage and the danger, what is that life for him going to be like for the next, I don't know, 50 years until he dies in prison?
And I think, to your point that nobody wanted him, and these are the people that did want him. One of the things that I read about this case is that he had been put into foster care, removed from the home due to a prior incident, and the dad is the one that went and got him and brought him back. So I don't know how well that plays. They probably are not having any evidence. It's probably been excluded from evidence, the prior charge. But, the dad is the one that went and got him and brought him back to the home. So I don't know how well you can argue the fact that he was unwanted by these people.
Yeah, I mean, it's tragic on many, many different levels here. And, it's a quick case. We'll see what the jury does with it. Think Tank is staying with us. When we come back, there's a story everyone is talking about. This young girl, high school senior, with her family on a cruise ship. It's supposed to be fun, exciting, an opportunity for everyone to just spend a few days enjoying themselves. And she mysteriously dies. What's going on? And what is going on with the FBI investigation? We'll talk about it when we come back.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
In the process, my oh my, how those ships have continued to be amazing fun machines. Our secret sauce? Combining the pure awesomeness of our ships with team members from all over the globe who know how to make the 1 gazillion experiences you can have on a Carnival ship unforgettable.
Thousands of people take these Carnival cruises all the time, and sometimes groups take them, and it's a great experience. You head out on a boat, on a ship, and everybody's together, and you're just, having the time of your life. And that's what was supposed to happen with Anna Kepner and her family. She's 18 years old, a high school senior, went on a trip with her family on the Carnival Horizon. It started on Friday, November 7th. They were in international waters between Mexico and Florida, and it was on that day at around 11:17 a.m. that Anna, her family called her Anna Banana, was declared dead aboard the ship. Then on the 8th of November, the Horizon returned to the port in Miami, Florida, and it was the FBI who responded to the scene. Anna Kepner's body was turned over to the Miami-Dade County Medical Examiner's Office, and the cause and manner of death has not yet been released. This is so tragic. Now, I want to show you something that people have been talking about, which is Anna's final TikTok, which was posted about 8 days before she was found dead. And there was a little bit of a cryptic caption there that said, "You deserve to be happy, but if it ain't with me, then never mind." And, you can read into it if you want. It could mean absolutely nothing. But perhaps it could be a clue as to what was going on in her mind and what was going on in her life. We're learning that. Now, I want you to take a look at this also from the Daily Mail, getting some more information here. Speaking to the Daily Mail in an exclusive interview, Anna's heartbroken father, Christopher Kepner, 41 years old, said that agents interviewed his entire travel party, including his 2 younger children and Anna's stepmom and step-siblings. We were there as a family. Everybody was questioned. Everybody came off that ship. I don't know who they're looking at or what their investigation is, said Christopher, who lives in Titusville. The FBI has not shared anything with me yet. I would imagine they're going to be in contact with me about it, but I know as little as everybody else. I have no idea what's going on right now. We're just trying to sit still and wait for answers. I can't imagine what that family's going through. So we reached out to retired FBI Special Agent Kenneth Gray for his expertise on this story. He's also a professor of practice at the University of New Haven. Kenneth, great to see you. Thanks so much. All right, explain, I guess the FBI has jurisdiction over these cases. Explain how they do this investigation. You're talking about a death aboard a ship. They're now in charge. What's going to be the process here, and how long before even the family knows about what's happening here?
Hi, Vinnie. This case, as described, is very mysterious. The Bureau does have jurisdiction under the Cruise Vessel Safety and Security Act Cruise ships crimes were handed over to the FBI for investigation purposes, just simply because the ship is moving. It would be very difficult to have to find what the nearest police department is that would do the investigation. So in this particular case, the Bureau is showing up with little information, and they're starting from scratch trying to figure out what went on here. Her body is being examined by the medical examiner there in Miami. In the meantime, they're doing interviews of people there on board the ship. They're reviewing any video that might be available there, interviewing any of the cruise line personnel that may have interacted with her, and just trying to put together the picture of what happened. This is one of those investigations where you have to first determine in general terms what happened before you can actually put together the bigger picture.
Does it necessarily mean that this is criminal because the FBI is involved?
No, not at all. This is an unwitnessed death, suspicious death, but that does not mean that at the end of the day that this was a crime. I mean, in actuality, based upon her breakup that she had reported on TikTok, there's always the possibility of suicide also. But I think we are operating at a position of lack of information to be able to say where she was when she was discovered, what her condition was, whether it looked like foul play or not. I just don't have enough information to be able to say anything other than the fact that she was found dead and there was suspicious, or there was these videos she had posted before talking about a breakup.
The fact that this, whatever happened to this young girl, happened in a very enclosed place, right? Where it had, something happened on the ship. But there's like 4,000 people on this ship, and we know how huge they are. Does that make it easier or more difficult than if it just happened on land?
So this is a floating city. You're absolutely right. These are huge, and so there's a possibility of a lot of people being in the area that may have seen something, and so it's going to take a lot of interviews to be able to ascertain any type of clues about what happened. But I think another key part of this is going to be the result of the autopsy to give an indication about how she died, what was the cause of death. But it is limited in that we know where the crime took place. But other than that, this is a crime like any other crime if it was not on the high seas.
Kenneth Gray, University of New Haven, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Let's bring back in our think tank Lori Murray, Ali Benevento, Stacey Honowitz. Stacey, you're down there in Florida. What are your thoughts here? I mean, I was surprised that the family knows nothing at this point.
Well, listen, Vinny, you'd be surprised how many times the FBI does get called out, because there are a lot of crimes that take place on cruise ships and in international waters, so they do have jurisdiction. So it's not surprising, because you don't have the results of the autopsy, and your guest was 100% right. To know what direction to go in at this point is difficult without having cause and manner of death. But certainly an investigation is started with who was closest to her, where she was, what areas she was hanging out in. You know, they have the teen lounge. They have cameras everywhere on the ship. So the initial investigation will be to talk to anybody that had contact with her. And then once the results of the autopsy are divulged and given to the family, then they will be able to kind of hone in on what took place. But it's going to take a long time. I mean, you know, and sometimes I wanted to tell you, the FBI does bring in local law enforcement to kind of help out with certain things, because it is a floating city, because there are so many people to talk to. They do ask for help, but it's not unusual that nobody really knows at this point what's going on.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that even the dad doesn't know the cause of death. Why are they not telling him at least the cause of death? And also the other interesting thing is that they gave a time of death, so they know exactly what time she died, but they're not telling anybody how she died. As a parent, I can't imagine the frustration that this family must feel, knowing that they were all there together, knowing that they have a time of death, but also not telling them anything about the manner of death.
Allie, for this family, the pain, but at the same time, if there is something that happened, could it be connected? And I'm not saying that it is, but I think investigators have to look at it like, okay, something happened to her. We know who she was there with, but we don't know the relationships. We don't know the circumstances. I mean, that's a tough spot for investigators in balancing what you can tell the family before you know whether or not this was nefarious.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we don't know if there was any foul play. We don't know if there was foul play with some member of the family involved. And so I would imagine that law enforcement is going to be tight-lipped, keep everything close to the vest until they have some answers, exactly like Stacey and Lori said. What was the cause and manner of death? Who was around her when she passed away? You know, was she found in her bed? Did she not wake up? Was she in a common area? Going through some of those cameras and answering some of those questions will shed more light on the situation. But, you know, I think we can read a little bit into the family not having any information to suggest that they probably were not right there when she passed away, or perhaps they were not the ones to discover her. But I think, you know, we'll find out as the days go on. But it's so, I can't think of anything worse than a family going on vacation and one of them not coming back. And she's a beautiful little girl. I'm the mom of a teenage daughter. It's tragic no matter what happened.
Yeah, and her plans were to serve the country. Big thanks, Lori Murray, Ali Benevento, Stacey Hanna. Was great to see you. When we come back, I'll reveal something else you need to know tonight.
This is the Court TV Podcast.
Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's take a look at the big board. What do we have? Countdown. That's Antonio Brown, NFL legend, getting out on bond, posting $25,000 and meeting with his legendary South Florida attorney, Mark Eiglarsh. All smiles. And what's the first thing he does? Not talk to the media, but get some conch from the Fruity Dressed Conch food truck, which is just outside the jail. That's the first place he went for his countdown. Here's Mark Eiglarsh in court talking to the judge.
This case is clearly overcharged as an attempted second-degree murder. Even the judge said, at worst, we're talking about aggravated assault. Secondly, we have a strong self-defense case. He has a long history with this violent, convicted felon who was arrested during the Super Bowl, protesting and violently resisted officers. And also, he has extensive family ties. He has a home right here in South Florida where he'll live and obviously return to court and fight these bogus charges.
We shall see. This will be the first celebrity streamer trial on Court TV. All right, folks, we have a missing child who needs your help tonight. Take a look at the screen. This is Samuel Spear. Samuel's just 14 years old, missing out of Boston, Massachusetts. If you see Samuel, pick up the phone, make a call, make a difference, 911, 1-800-THE-LOST, or you can call the Boston Police Department up in Massachusetts. That phone number's on your screen right now. Let's see if we can get Samuel to a safe place tonight. Don't go anywhere. We have another hour of live true crime. Vinnie Politan Investigates is next. In the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids. There you have it. If you want to see more in-depth reporting on the latest true crime stories, you can see me every weeknight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Closing Arguments. Thank you so much for downloading. And as always, please don't forget to hug the kids.
This podcast is a production of Court TV. Go to CourtTV.com for more content, trials on demand, and to find out how to watch Court TV in your area.